Hi, this is D Love, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Dating Over 50. I'm here with Boss Lady, and we're going to continue our conversation. And we're talking about the quality of men we're finding over 50. So, Boss Lady, what is your experience? Are you finding men of good quality, or are we having to find needles in haystacks?
I met a bunch of brothers over the summer, and I'm not going to say they were not good brothers, but they weren't at the level that I was ready or prepared for in my journey. I'm ready for stability and, companionship. And these guys, it may just be I just wasn't the guy for them, but I'm good enough to hang out with, if you know what I mean. No, I'm not doing that because I'm not that one. I'm not doing that. Those are the type of guys that we meet. We meet guys that, they ready right now, but then I don't know if that they get bored or they get cold feet. And nobody said I do or asked you to marry them. And then when you do meet the right one, he got everything except he ain't compassionate enough or the sex ain't right. You know what I'm saying? It's all you can't never hit the nail on the head. But what it seems like, what it has led me to my journey was that prayer is missing out of all this. And I don't know if it's a 50 thing. In most relationships, you're like, that didn't work. I thought that was my forever. Okay, if we thought that was our forever, before you got married, was it anointed? Even the relationships that when you meet people. So that's where it seems like I am now, over 50.
So you're looking for the man who has a better spiritual connection?
Or I'm looking for the man that I feel like he was sent in my life for a purpose. That means that even if he's not there yet, we could grow together.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, be on that journey together. And to me, that brings a sense of chemistry to a whole different level. But not being so deep where you not in the world anymore, you just, you know what I'm saying, you just straight churchy, not nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand, I have an understanding that when even your friendships, when it's anointed, it takes you to a different level. And when both parties understand that, they will seem like they grow better together.
Mm-hmm.
It was a book that I got that Megan Good and her husband had written together. Can't remember the name of the book, but it was very interesting because when she met him, she had just decided to be celibate. She was coming out of a relationship that she felt, this ain't it, because I'm just a doormat. And the husband had been celibate for some years, and he was a minister, but she had no idea he was a minister because both of them was in the same industry. And they met, and he was like, I told you, God, I ain't marrying no woman in the industry. Why you keep showing me her? Like that. But also Fantasia and her husband, I followed their story, and what he was saying, he was straight out of jail. He was this, he was that, he was a whole lot of things. But and the guys, I'm following the males is how I'm getting to the ladies because I'm following the males. And I'm like, oh, that's making good husband. Oh, and so what these men have been saying is that it's extremely hard to be a one woman's man. But with prayer is what helps them. They got to pray every day. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good mate. And so I'm listening to these fellas, and I'm like, okay, if the guys are saying this, then, that's the journey that I need to be on, because that's what it seems like is only going to be the right thing.
Okay, well, I know that's the big thing now, people talking about being celibate. But I know the men that I talk to, they're saying that at this age, for us to say we're going to wait until we, not necessarily marriage maybe, but at least until we're in a committed relationship, they're saying they don't need to wait for us because there's so many other women who are not waiting. But I think that speaks to your point of it has to be more than just this carnal, what you can get, but what you actually is supposed to be coming to you from God. how do you feel about, have you run across anybody who, once you said, no, I'm not doing that, that they were okay with, still having a relationship, or were they immediately gone?
No, when I always say that, no, I'm not doing that. But it seems like, to me, what I try to tell some brothers, you would never know your full self. You would never know your full self until you do become celibate. Even if it's for a month, 60 days, 30 days, you won't know your full self, because guess what? You would never, this is what men don't know. You would never be escalated to the next level by that spiritual being. You would never get there. And some of these young men and men would never know that level of intimacy. A lot of men are missing that. They're missing the elevation. But if they do talk to other men who have put that in their journey, because whenever you detox anything, it takes you to another level. Detox your body, detox from sex, detox it takes you to another level. But a lot of men, they would never know that. They thinking mastering, sleeping with the most women, the prettiest girl, all this kind of fictitious things. But once they realize, get to know themselves on an intellectual, personal level, and they find out that elevation is something big, it's something deep.
And what I'm finding, and what I'm surprised at this age, again, over 50, are we not done with just trying to sleep with whoever we can sleep with? Don't we want something more than that?
Yeah, but they're immature. They don't know. And this is the phrase that irks me. I'm a grown ass man. Are you really? Or you a grown ass boy? You a man boy? Because being a grown man is practicing being with one woman. You could never know what marriage is about, because first you have to practice being with one woman.
Exactly.
It's going to be definitely a challenge. But if you never even practice being with one woman, how are you going to be married to somebody?
Exactly. I have friends who claim that, once I get married, I'll stop. No. You haven't practiced that muscle, like you said. So
yeah. I have 5 brothers, and once you get into that practicing being with one woman and then practice celibacy, they need to talk men like that. They need to talk to men who has been celibate. And guess what? These men that I'm talking about, they got the baddest chicks. When you go through everybody's story, just like Megan Good, she said she was all over the place. She was dating and doing, she had a steady boyfriend, but the connection and the chemistry was dead.
Because if all you have is sex, then, you don't have the conversation, you don't know each other, and if that's all you're trying to do.
We need a world tour. These men need to practice focusing on one woman. And I found this to be intriguing. No, it was Tony Gaskin. He is a life coach, and he does relationships and some other things. And he said, man, you're talking about dating different kind of women. He said, I find something different about my wife every week, that I learn something new about my wife. And he said, if you could focus on that one woman, you will have abundance in your life. And I was like, really? And so many men have said that to me, that when you start to focus on one woman and do the right thing, your life starts to turn around. Because a lot of men think that nice cars, jewelry, they think that's living. But what if you was elevated mentally? Because a lot of men is very unhealthy intellectually. A lot of them have issues they don't even know. Selfishness, that's a problem right there. But we got to keep on keeping on. We got to work with what we have, which ain't shit. I don't see nothing. I don't see a whole lot of choices out here.
So what are we supposed to do in the meantime then? Just take whatever?
No, we supposed to do what we've been doing. Just celibacy and just practice what we, practice our safe journey. Okay. And just keep going on our girl trips.
Let me ask you this. So are you finding it difficult to meet men in the real world? I mean, I get we're in COVID, we're all masked up, but are you finding it that it has to be online, or are you finding that you are able to date or meet men in public?
No, No, I've been meeting, but I work in a public place, so I meet a lot of guys, and I know it ain't hard to meet them. They just not the ones. They just not the ones. I meet them all over, all nationalities. So it's easy to meet them, and either it's me. It could be me. Maybe I need to pray more. Maybe I need to do what I need to do because the type of intellectual person that I'm looking for, I may not be ready or prepared for him. So maybe I need to get myself prepared, more prepared. And I mean mentally, intellectually, and maybe it could be me. But I don't have a problem with meeting the guys, no, because I'm in the public eye all the time.
All right.
But
Well,
meeting
good
the
for
one
you.
that I have, what you say?
I said good for you because I think the rest of us are having a hard time. But
That's because but you're not in a public place like me. I work at two different public places. I go from one to the next.
mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing men all the time.
Okay.
But I be 50% of the time I be just looking and shaking my head, and then the other 45. The other 45, that's 95. The other 45, I'd be like, you ain't ready.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this one. And again, guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know the next time I have a video coming out. And we'll be talking to Boss Lady again in the future. Thanks.